What's going on, guys, and welcome to this live showdown between the Tomb Kings and the Lizard People. So in this match, guys, we're going to be doing a very SETTRA-centric build. A bit of a tongue twister there, but as far as our anti-large go, we do have SETTRA the Imperishable, who, when you put on a horse, is actually a very powerful anti-large tool. You can see he does indeed get the bonus, and he's got some pretty good duelist abilities. We can give him the Narrows Incantation, we can give him the Dejof's Incantation of the Cursed Blades for additional AP, and all kinds of good stuff. On top of that, he's going to be joined by two Tomb Princes right here. And for our front line, we have a pretty standard core. We got a couple groups of Tomb Guard, the Kepler Guard in the middle, who are basically like the Sternsmen for the Tomb Kings. One of those units that, with regeneration and just good combat stats, are pretty much always worth it. But against the Lizardmen, Tomb Guard honestly trade pretty efficiently. So we have an entire front line of those guys with some skeletons mixed in. We have one of the Kemrian War Sphinxes. So I figured that'd be pretty good for kind of guaranteeing we win the frontline fight. And if he tries to take out the War Sphinx with like a Krok-Gar or some other big dinosaurs, I'm hoping that our Tomb Princes and some of our anti-large tools here can take it out. One group of Ushapti Grapos just to keep them honest, and on top of that we do have two groups of the Nehekara Horsemen. So without further ado, guys, let's get this show on the road. Alright, so we're going to advance right here. We're going to get some of these cav up and around the flanks, just kind of test the waters, and it looks like, there might actually be some clever girls over there, so I think he does indeed have some Feral Coal ones. Haven't seen those guys in quite some time, but should be fun nonetheless. So we're going to advance. We do have our Ushapti Grapos, so we're just going to have him shoot at Krok-Gar, put him in group 5 for now, and Lizardmen probably aren't going to be able to like flank me or anything like that. So let's see if we can pick off these Feral Cold ones real quick. So we're going to get on those guys. As far as the rest of his army, it looks like he has a Heaven's Caster with Wind Blast, so pretty standard competitive stuff there. Ushapti Grapos are firing in. Front line is about ready to go, so we're just going to kind of posture up, hang tight, and have a good old time. So it looks like we may be able to catch those guys there. We're definitely going to get the ones on that side, which is going to be a great little pick. So let's get these guys going here, these guys here, Kepler Guard down the middle, these guys here, and these guys here. Kemrian War Sphinx, we wanted on the Saurus Warriors. Basically with SETTRA, we're just going to kind of hang tight in the back and mirror the movements of his big dinosaurs. Because I feel like we're going to have a pretty good engagement in the front. And yes, these are skeletons. We probably want to get the spears fighting against our skeletons and get the Tomb Daddy right there. So looks like Krok-Gar, the Saurus Guard veteran's coming in here, so we're just going to kind of hang tight, and we can charge into these spears for just a moment, and then do a bit of a hard switch. So we get a good engagement there. It looks like, where are those guys going? I could have sworn I had them in the right spot. So let's pull back now. We're trying to get that big dinosaur to come in here, because that's the ultimate prize right there. That's the most dangerous game, as they say. Good. So I'm just kind of screening the big guy. I think we're going to win most of the frontline engagements with our big angry dinosaur right here. So it looks like that's what he's going after with the Scarvet. So we're going to pull this guy back right here. And he's going to chase it for sure. And then that's going to allow us to kind of turn and fight it. So now we can turn and fight, which is good. Clever Girl's coming in with the rear charge. Let's go ahead and pop this in front to get a little bit of deeps. And here comes our anti-large. So the Sphinx here, we're going to go ahead and get the Kemrian War Sphinx, cross him over in this direction. And it looks like we've caught most of the Clever Girls. And Krok-Gar back there is taking some pretty substantial damage from the Ushapti Grapos fire. Great, so he does get back with that Scarvet, so we're going to re-engage here, get this guy going right there. And so far so good. He just gets some spears back here, so we definitely don't want that. So let's pull away from those guys, and this is a good engagement for us for sure. So let's see if we can jump on this guy here, pull you up and around, and you can go over, and yeah, we can take this fight. I think that's going to be pretty good. So Kepler Guard in the middle are winning. We are losing on a couple different points on the battlefield, but that's to be expected with some of our skeletons and all that good stuff. So right here, let's go ahead and pop the Narrows Incantation and use the Petra's Vengeance and all that kind of good stuff. Make sure our Ushapti are still firing here, and here comes the big boy. So we're going to pop Tomb Strike right here. Terror isn't going to be that big of a deal, but we can switch on to Krok-Gar, although, yeah, we have a lot of stuff here. We have our Kemrian War Sphinx, so I think we're okay to fight here. SETTRA is surprisingly durable, so we're just going to keep spamming these debuffs to like get as many of the kind of, healing perks as we can, even though it's not a lot. Every little bit counts right now. So our other group is kind of chasing off some routing units, and we're not quite at the Realm of Souls yet, so let's just chase down some of those Saurus. And you can see how badly the SETTRA Goon Squad is just kind of laying into Krok-Gar right there, which is nice. We're going to move some of our Ushapti as well, just kind of reposition them so they can get a better line of sight, and yeah, we can kind of just attack Krok-Gar with those guys. I think that's fine. So over here, the Kemrian War Sphinx doing a pretty good job, and even against large targets, like the Kemrian War Sphinx isn't a pushover, and definitely got some really good value out of our Kepler Guard. So Wind Blast coming in from my opponent, definitely some good stuff. Let's go ahead and pop the Curse right here to Rampage Krok-Gar. Might as well. These guys are pretty much already, offline here. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can Alpha Strike Krok-Gar real quick. Let's get our Ushapti, start shooting in on him, and just kind of check the rest of the battlefield here. These guys are kind of going after good old Krok Daddy. So let's get them over here. We don't really need them against him. And Ushapti summons. These are all spears. We don't want to mess with those guys, so we're going to just summon them right here to work on this group of Saurus Warriors who are pretty much full health. So from here, do we have a Tomb Strike? We can pop a Tomb Strike and spells. We want to go ahead and do this on SETTRA because that's probably one of the only ways my opponent can get back in the game right now is if we let SETTRA slip to that damage. So do we want to get our Cav going here? So these guys are just going after the caster. I figured they could kind of like try and goon that priest. Let's get them kind of rotating back this direction. These guys can go here. Just kind of distract my opponent's forces. And the Ushabti Great Bows, let's have them shoot at that Scar Veteran to make sure we're kind of touching on all of our bases. So here we're going to get these guys going. And yeah, I feel like we need to chase with all of them. So let's get the big dinosaur, well, like Sphinx cat thing, whatever it is. Let's get it back this direction. And let's get our Cav and see if we can pin down Krokar with some higher mass units. Usirians, we're going to pop that as well. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. Most of the targets are fighting in the right areas. Everything's going to code. And looks like most of the balance of power is in our favor. Yeah, well, not most. It's only one variable there, but it is in our favor, which is good. Cambrian War Sphinx can just keep rampaging these spears and having a good old time. So let's go ahead and square up SETTRA and the boys. Get our Cav here. Let's pull them back and have them just start, charging some of these Sora. So pretty good little moves using my opponent's superior mass. So we're going to pull the Cambrian War Sphinx like through here and try and unify it with our anti-large troops. So let's see if we can get you going that way. Over here, our Ushabti and company are closing down on our opponent's flank right here, which is going to be nice. And Ushabti Great Bow just, we didn't go too heavy on them, but I feel like it's good just to, apply that pressure as needed. So we're going to pop the Nero's Incantation right here. He's probably going to go after the Squishy Tomb Prince if he does decide to fight back. So sorry about the lag there. We're going to jump on him, and yeah, these are spears. So let's just go chase down some of these routing units, honestly. That's going to, help us ensure that we can get the victory, get the W. So let's start shooting at Croc. He's just going to be scurrying away from us. We get these Ushabti going after him right there, and we should be able to take out the Sora Scar Veteran right now. So I definitely like the note using the Tomb Princes for anti-large. It gives you the Tomb Strikes, and it also gives you the Rampage mechanic once they get a little bit lower. And SETTRA seems like a pretty good tool for, these type of situations as well. I don't think that explosion does a whole lot. We'll knock back some of those spears. So let's get the Sphinx using group 6, kind of pull him back here. Get these guys pathing in here. Just kind of look around, make sure everything's good and tasty. And then we can start shooting at Krokar. We should be able to finish off here. So we're going to pull the Sphinx and just kind of intercept these spears because they're not braced, so they don't have their anti-large bonus. Well, they have the anti-large, but they don't have the charge defense against large. So we get in there, and then we're going to pull up and around Krokar and see if we can pin him in. It's kind of the ultimate plan here. And from there, that should be all she wrote for the Lizard people. So well played to my opponent. It was definitely a fun game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that build. And let's go ahead and take a look at the post-screen breakdown. So like I said, for anti-large, you have SETTRA and you have the Tomb Prince. And honestly, a front line of Tomb Guard with the Kepra Guard plus a Cambrian War Sphinx can trade very, very cost efficiently with Saurus, because even if they have like Sora Spears or Temple Guard, as long as those units are inundated and are fighting skeletons and Tomb Guards and other things like that, your Cambrian War Sphinx is pretty much going to have free reign to, cause terror and just, massive game-changing damage. The Clever Girls were pretty cool. I like that inclusion because if they're left unimpeded, and most Tomb King players are going to go very construct heavy with, Necro Sphinxes and just Iro Titans and things like that, and they're not going to have tools to fight the Clever Girls. But I was kind of trying something a little bit different with the Nehekar Horsemen. I wanted to use them to chase chameleons or skirmisher units or even shut down the Clever Girls, who are actually not a terrible answer against Ushabti Great Bows. For 400 something gold, you're getting these Feral Cold ones who have 40 weapon strength with really high armor piercing values. So ultimately, I think they were a decent little answer there. I was definitely happy with the boys. And for his army, Krokar and Sora Scar Veteran, pretty standard stuff for dealing with anti-large. Lizardmen have a bunch of different ways of doing it, but I also think the Skink Priest with Heavens is probably the most competitive pick. Getting good wind blasts on Tomb Guard who have low armor is devastating. And if I go with like the Blessed Legion of Demonetization and like all that kind of good stuff, they're also very powerful in that respect. Sword Spears, also a safe bet. They can hang with most Tomb King's infantry, and they also provide you anti-large against constructs. But since I didn't really go heavy construct play, I think he kind of got punished for bringing some of these like very expensive anti-large tools. But yeah, it was definitely fun. So well played to my opponent, Pinkle Z. Look forward to running into you again on ladder, and hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing the Tomb Kings in action. Have an excellent night, guys, and take care.